So, Amaury Pierron is back. Now, if I told you someone broke their neck last season and was going to be out for the entire year, how many races do you think it would take them to come back to the top step? 1, 2, 3, a whole season? Maybe they'll never come back. You never know. Armory not only came back and is now winning World Cups again, he's doing it by almost 5 seconds on arguably the hardest track of the year. Now just think about that for a second. He broke his neck last year. He missed every race there was. He has come back, and on the third race of him returning to World Cup downhill, he is beaten everybody by almost 5 seconds, 4.8 to be precise. Now, let that sink in for a bit, because I don't think many people would even want to get back on a bike after having an injury like that and being sidelined for that long. I know personally, I didn't want to jump back on a bike. I still haven't jumped back on a bike since my accident. And if I had, and I did continue racing, there's still that voice in your head that if you've had a serious crash, a serious injury that has cost you an entire year of recovery, when you go to the hardest track of the season, I don't care who you are or what you say, that voice is probably going to get a little bit louder. Because no matter how much prep you do, no matter how much you recover, you know what you went through. You know the issues you had. You know the pain you had. You know everything it took to get you back to where you are. And there's no way in hell you want to go straight back to that. So to have the mental strength to rock up to the hardest track of the year with the hardest conditions after missing a full year from injury and then winning by that margin, give the king a crown, because I don't think anyone would truly comprehend how big that is to do and how hard that would be to come back and do that mentally. Now, I think we all know how mentally strong Armory is and how he can win races after qualifying first and how he builds momentum off that pressure, and he can channel it into these amazing runs. You just look at when he won Leger, when he won Andorra, when he's won these different races, Leo Gang, and he's been the last man down the hill, and he's just built from that. You look at that and you realize how mentally strong someone is, and then they go out and do this, because it's easy to be great when everything's going well. It's hard to be great when no one's even looking at you, when no one cares, and when you're sidelined for an entire year. That's when you need to go in on who you are and what you want to do. So, again, hats off to Armory for coming out and getting back to where he knows he could be. Because I think that's the biggest thing, is convincing yourself that you can get back to where you know you should. Because there can be a lot of self-doubt, self-sabotage, and overall just hard time mentally to get back to that point. It's going to be interesting now to see where he goes from here, now that he knows what he can do and what he's capable of. He put 8 seconds into Loic Bruni, who is the current overall leader, who I will give it to him. He's not the best in the wet conditions, so it was good damage control for him. I'm going to put it out there. But to put that amount of time into someone like that, it has to give these other guys a bit of doubt that they're about to go up against the old Armory again and how hard that's going to be to beat. Because I've had this thing for a while where it's like, does talent beat want and determination and skill? Because I look at, for example, there's these three French riders, and I really looked at this when they went 1, 2, 3 in Leger, when Loic won, Amaury got second, and Loris got third. Now, for all-out speed, I believe Amaury Pierron is the fastest mountain biker in the world. I would have said not last year, but the year before. Obviously, he won the overall, and he's just done these incredible runs that just kind of shock everyone. So I'd say Armory takes the cake for that. Now, the most, I could say, stylish, calculated, clean rider would have to be Loris. And then the best racer would have to be Loic. Now, all of these guys have won many World Cups, but it seems like being the best racer trumps being the fastest racer or the most, what do you say, stylish, consistent, skilled rider. Now, think about that for a second, because I thought it was interesting at Worlds that year in Leger, because I think Armory is the fastest, but maybe not the best racer. Loris is maybe the most skilled, but not the best racer. Loic is neither of those two, but I think he's the best racer. And he seems to come out on top more times than not. He's got multiple world championships. He's got overalls. And these years he did that. I think you could pick the other two to beat him. But as it comes down to the line, he always seems to find a way. Now, I'm not sure how it's going to work now, coming out and seeing Armory put that much time into everyone, and whether he will be able to become a better racer. Because for all-out speed, I think on his best day, he can beat anyone. But can he do that throughout a season and be able to actually race like that for the whole season without mistakes, without crashes, without injuries, and be to the level that he can do? So it would be interesting to hear what you guys think with those three. And obviously there's other riders that come into play, but I just, from that race in Leger, I've always thought about those three as like the three of the best, but how they're the best in different ways, and how Loic always seems to be the one to come out on top. Not always. Obviously, Amaury's won the overall as well, but if you had to go to any track, it's like, who do you put your money on? And it's hard to pick between the three, but I think for all that speed, Armory is the man. For racecraft and consistency, Loic's the man. And for skill and precision, Loris is the man. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but to finish it off, hats off to Armory for coming back, for overcoming the adversity, for pushing himself to that limit again on that track. Is pretty mind-blowing that he kind of threw everything at it on a course that was deteriorating, slippery, rocky, hard, sketchy, and he just rode like how he's always ridden, with no fear and just all the want in the world. And when you can do that, and you believe you can do that, you can make miracles happen. And I think that's what he did, coming back after a year with a broken neck, with doubt, with injuries, and then getting straight back to where he left off. So hats off to you, Amaury. and I can't wait to see the battles that go down now. I'm sure you're going to be living rent-free in a lot of people's head for a while, and it's going to be interesting to see you come out swinging at Leger. So there's a bit of a break now, but when we get back into it, I'll have some more reviews and things to talk about. Thanks, guys. Bye.